No matter what race you are, if you can appeal to a traditional white standard, you good.
They are intentionally, right, transforming themselves to go back to a traditionally white physical aesthetic.
White women want to be white again.
Has Kim Kardashian used and then dumped the black community? Is it wrong for adult individuals to undergo face and body modifications purely in response to beauty ideals portrayed in the media? Or, to put it another way, is it only acceptable to change the way you look if you're not following the crowd, celebrity cult to be exact? Standing against cosmetic surgery, Tee Noir feels that the numerous women all over the world who, since 2007, have undergone a BBL, Brazilian butt lift, along with other cosmetic procedures to achieve physical features usually associated with black women, are effectively victims of a process of brainwashing or radicalising. Tee's view on Kim Kardashian's, shall we say, involvement with black culture reminds me of a comment from Jazzy B from Soul to Soul regarding white soul singer Lisa Stansfield.
Today, I want to take the time to examine and really long-form exemplify the stealing from blackness to seeking legitimacy in whiteness pipeline.
Similarly, Jazzy B accused Lisa Stansfield of, quote, stealing black soul. In 2007, says Tee, the so-called heroin chic look falls, and how looking emaciated and drug-ravaged actually came to be a sought-after look we'll cover another time. Side note, I remember Kate Moss's career thriving through the 90s since, unlike many of her supermodel counterparts, she had the grungy, skeletal look that fashion houses so urgently wanted. End of side note. Britney Spears goes balmy, Paris Hilton goes to prison, and Nicole Smith sadly goes to her grave. The family portrayed in the reality TV show that launched that same year have long dark hair and, where some members at least are concerned, fatter bodies. Popular culture is hooked on the Kardashians' look and no longer smitten with skinny and blonde.
I highly doubt white women woke up one day and said, you know what, I want to look like black women because I really like how black women look.
And that same popular culture, says Tee, has a particularly significant characteristic.
No, they said, I want to look like black women because black men, aka the dominant subgroup of the race that pop culture is consistently modeled after, like how black women look. And oddly enough, they really like the look of black women on anyone other than black women.
In case you don't know, I'm Gina, and my own cosmetic surgery journey is ongoing. If you're enjoying this video, do give it a like and do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. I think Tee means the common sexual fantasies, invariably involving white women, of Western black men who are embedded in hip-hop culture in her definition of the so-called black male gaze, and I think she feels that Kim Kardashian's exploitation of the black male gaze to achieve superstardom and immense wealth is just that, exploitation.
In their preservation of consumer obsession and just overall cultural relevancy, they recognize the gold mine that is black human existence.
Even relatively poor people can access a BBL now, and countless commoners around the world have, which, as such, means the BBL is no longer a status symbol.
Now that BBLs are everybody and their mama, nurses, teachers, housekeepers, all kinds of people are, getting the care credit, okay, getting the $5,000 to do it.
Coming across in one's appearance as high class can only mean one thing, says Kimberly.
The projection of their butt is a lot smaller, right? Like the hips, right? They have taken away the hips. The width of their hips is much narrower. They are intentionally, right, transforming themselves to go back to a traditionally white physical aesthetic.
And says Tee,
no matter what race you are, if you can appeal to a traditional white standard, whether that's by way of looks, complexion, fashion, speech patterns, you good.
By going white with her body,
white women want to be white again.
90s skinny to be exact, as at late 2022, Kim Kardashian is expressing overwhelming contempt for the very community that made her what she is. First, exploitation of the black community, now betrayal of the black community. To Kimberly and Tee, Kim Kardashian is guilty of these two outrageous, if you like, offences. To me, a woman by the name of Kim Kardashian is creating a life of financial freedom for herself and her children, and it just so happens that popular culture, a sector of society that this same woman has actively appealed to in order to derive her vast fortune, is, if Tee's words are accurate, heavily influenced by black culture. I think it's much fairer then to say not Kim Kardashian has turned her back on black culture, but Kim Kardashian has turned her back on popular culture, which just happens to be heavily influenced by black culture. Has Kim Kardashian, by means of her never-ending global publicity, brainwashed a whole generation of women into having their bottoms surgically enlarged? As you can probably tell, the question behind that one is it wrong to undergo cosmetic surgery and/or semi-invasive cosmetic procedures in order to follow beauty ideals perpetuated by the media? Tee says, the hundreds of thousands of women who, inspired by Kim Kardashian's former figure, have had a BBL, fundamentally had no control over having one.
Think of a tornado. Because it's so powerful and it's moving so fast, anyone who even gets remotely close to it, like even just out of curiosity, gets sucked in. So then it brings in the question, when such a mass group decides to devote themselves to achieving that look, with so much at stake, all these things that directly impact a person's quality of life, can we say with certainty that that decision was made by way of their own volition?
Rather than debating the acceptability, if any, of comparing a natural disaster that usually causes widespread death and destruction and, as such, offers nothing positive or sexy whatsoever to the influence on beauty standards arising from a given celebrity's look, I will kick to my idea that, according to some parties, like Tee, with her substantial influence on beauty ideals, Kim Kardashian has brainwashed a similarly substantial number of women into having cosmetic surgery to mimic her look. BBL customers are, by and large, victims of Kim Kardashian's influence. All brainwashing comes from influence, but not all influence leads to brainwashing. And to me, the trend in BBL surgery sparked by Kim Kardashian is an example of influence not leading to brainwashing. I am taking for granted, you understand, that the vast majority of women who have had a BBL to get a figure like Kim Kardashian's are neither stupid, nor weak, nor victims of any type of force. If you've enjoyed this video, then I recommend you to watch this one next. I'll meet you there.